Welcome to Behind Them Sticks. This is your boy Ham Solo. I'm with my good friend Twan from actually Twitter. I actually ran into this gentleman right here just talking about the Nomad one day, and then he came up and just flexed it up in my face, and I got kind of sad because I used to own the Nomad, and I know it's an awesome piece of hardware. Something I've actually talked about in previous shows that a lot of other people didn't know about. Please tell them a little bit about the Nomad, Twan. Tell them a little something about it.
The Nomad's amazing. It's pretty much the Switch before the Switch is even like conceptualized, right? Yeah, I might as well pull it up. I have it right here actually. So
yeah, show them
okay, there it is. There's the Nomad.
Yeah, it's big.
That's a bulky
brick
guy. Look at this. I even got the battery pack over here.
You got the battery pack?
Yeah, I got the battery pack. This is not the rechargeable one, but it's the one you got to put the 6 AA's, and they only last for like 3 hours if you're lucky. Like this thing is like I think if I turn it on, I think it's actually like I think it's dying on me if I turn it on. Where's this on button on this side? There it is.
Such a big console. What game you got in there?
Oh, right now there's nothing.
Nothing.
It's
got
flat.
it.
See?
Oh, right.
It'd be like sticking up, right?
You're right.
Let's see. What can I? I guess I'll pull something up.
Yeah. Let's see something. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Nomad was an awesome system. I used to have it. Had the
there we go.
Sonic and Knuckles game that you could actually plug into.
Oh yes, yeah, that's right.
Do you got that?
I did do that. Do you want me to do that? I got it. I got Shinobi over here, but I guess I could grab that.
We can roll with Shinobi. Let's see what you got.
All right. Hopefully, it's like a Sega Genesis where sometimes it doesn't work, so you gotta like put it in. You might need to blow in. Oh no, it's working. First try. Let's go. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that.
Sega Genesis games, and I that's the reason I love that console, because I had a Sega Genesis, and when I got my Nomad, I was able to play the game in both spaces. Especially a game like Road Rash 2, where you put in your own you just put in a password and you just continue from there. So you'd be able to easily bounce between your console and your handheld.
Let's see. I don't know. It's gonna pop up soon. But yeah, a game with like you said with the saving thing, like a game like Sonic 3 and Knuckles has a battery, right? So even if you take it out and put it in the Nomad, you can still continue where you left off, right?
Yeah,
because that's the whole battery thing, right? Because the save data is in the actual cartridge. Man, so it's gonna take a few tries. Looks like, sometimes you get past the licensing screen. There's the Sega logo. There it is, and now it's working.
Well, that's classic Sega for you.
Yeah, you gotta sometimes
Even
you gotta blow the cartridge.
Does that stuff.
I don't know if you see it. The screen's not the best thing in the world on this thing, but
it's a little bit of a glare. But yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
There it is, Shinobi 3.
Yeah. No, this is the Shinobi. This is Revenge of the Shinobi. This is like the second one.
It looked like it said 3 on there.
Nah, I got 3 over there. 3, that's the best one. Number 3. That's the one where you're doing you're on the horse, you're on the freaking water jet thing. That was a great game.
So is the Nomad the most like rare and coolest thing that you got?
I mean, I have a Virtual Boy. I don't know if that's cooler.
I mean, to me, it's not cooler to play.
Yeah,
but I mean, like, as a collector, that's really cool.
Yeah, the Nomad. I love the Nomad.
The Nomad still works now, though. Like you could still.
Oh yeah,
reach out. And
bring this on a train or something with the 32 with the Sonic and Knuckles full setup going on.
Oh man,
you'll definitely get some people looking at you.
yeah. Everyone's like, "What the hell? Where you get that from?"
Yeah, it wouldn't be a weird thing. It'd be like, "Oh, that's amazing," kind of stare,
Yep. Only the people that know about it. Are curious about it will say something though, because it is just really rare to see anymore. The last one I seen was on sale for $250. And
is that without the battery pack?
Yeah. I was thinking that was a little too rich for my blood. I make some stupid. I make some stupid buys sometimes just because I have to have it, and I feel like we always do, especially when some of us buy day one games and then figure out
that's
it's
just
not good. But
like I bought freaking what's it called? What was that From Software game that released on the PS5? Demon Souls?
Yeah,
that's
Demon
what it's called,
Souls.
right? Yeah. I bought that day one. I never even played it. $90 spent on it. Didn't even play it. Like, I just never got to it, you know. And now I'm like, man, now I could get it for like $20.
Yeah,
I just wasted
and
like
it's supposed to be a
$90.
fantastic game, but
Yeah,
like,
I just never got
sometimes
around
just,
it.
like,
you know,
I did the same thing for $40 for Watch Dogs Legion. I played like 10 minutes of that game and was like, there's something else that's out. And Game Pass always kind of keeps you busy.
Yeah, so. Game Pass is, man, I hate it and love it at the same time. You know, you look at it like, oh, so many good games. You know, it's like, you know, and you'll download one game, you know, you play it for a bit, and then, you know, you'll be like, I'll get back to it later. And then you never get back to it.
Right.
And it's a blessing and a curse, right?
Plus,
I have all these games here that I never play. It's like I just own a bunch of plastic that I never actually use half the time. It feels
so.
Like.
Before we continue, can you please tell me what like social media and and gaming platforms that you're on that people can like maybe connect with you or play with you or check out what you do?
I mean, it was a little discouraging because I saw the other people that he had on, and they had like, you know, 20,000 subscribers, you know, 100,000 followers and all that stuff. And I'm like, I'm almost like some random dude on Twitter almost, right? Like, it's not like I have the biggest following, right?
You got like, knowledge though, and you love gaming, and I can tell like when you
I've been doing this stuff
when you popped up and flexed on me, I was like, I gotta talk to this dude.
I'm sorry about
that. like no normal person just walks around with like, a nomad, you know. Like you gotta talk to that person. This
is someone special.
They really care about gaming if they got a nomad at this point, functional. Yeah, you have a functioning nomad, and like
it works great.
I'm just like you got to be a good guy because I'm a Sega guy myself, and I grew up playing Road Rash and Mortal Kombat, of course, and just all kinds of different Sonic games and stuff like that. Like Sega was just my way of growing up. Streets of Rage was freaking massive for me. Just Sonic, or not Sonic, but Sega was just big, and that was really my war back in the day when I was a little kid, because I was like, I don't know, like 10 years old playing Sega's like Sega's not Sega CD, but but like Sega Genesis and stuff like that.
My mom didn't have Dreamcast too, right?
My mom didn't have the most money, so like Dreamcast came out later, a little bit later on, I think.
It's like 1999.
Yeah, that came out in 99, so I would have been like 11 or 12 years old at that time. But like when I was like, between the age of like 5 and like 10, I had the Genesis, and my stepdad had the OG PlayStation. And then like PlayStation 2 came out and everything like that. I kind of just followed his footsteps for a little bit on gaming and stuff like that because I didn't have a choice. But like the Sega was always there to play. The Sony was known as the grown folks game.
Yeah, I was like
I couldn't play that.
Yeah. I'm too young for that.
Like,
too innocent.
Like, you don't understand Ridge Racer. Like
Daytona is way better than Ridge Racer.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean, after I got done playing Ridge Racer, I didn't really feel like I was missing that much. It was a great game for some people that love racing, but for me, I wasn't stoked until they came out with like Gran Turismo.
Oh yeah, Gran Turismo.
Man, Gran Turismo 2 is like the GOAT to me.
And Gran Turismo 3, that's what I grew up with. That like just playing the music in that game, like the arcade menu, the
was that
freaking dealership. Sorry,
was that A-Spec?
A-Spec, yes, correct. Yeah, A-Spec. I think it was only Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. I think that's the only thing they never released like a B-Spec or anything like that. But just the music, like the dealership music. I listen to that music and I have a tear every time. Like it's just, it's the game I spent a lot of time with as a kid. Because I was born in 1999, right? So I kind of grew up in that generation. But we also had an N64 and a Genesis when I was growing up. We already had those systems. Like my uncle bought it for NHL back in the day. And my other uncle got the N64 from one of his ex-girlfriends. So I always just grew up with those systems, like Sonic 2, Mario Kart 64. Those are like some of my earliest, gaming memories, right? And Mario Kart 64 is a game especially I've played a lot, even like Smash Brothers 64.
I mean, who can't forget pulling the nose around and the chin and the
ears
and,
I mean, it's
the
there's
mustache.
The N64 is like my thing too. Yeah, I love the N64. That was one of the other things. Like this Nomad. This Nomad's great and all right, but one system that I really want to get that would be like, oh, this is amazing. It'd probably be the 64 DD. Like you don't really see those often, right?
Wait, like please tell me, what is the 64 DD?
You don't know what the 64 DD, or is you saying that kind of like in like a viewer kind of sense?
I'm curiously wondering.
So the 64 DD was actually an add-on that was announced before the N64 was released, right?
Okay.
And it was it was a disc add-on for the N64, so they could have games with higher storage. So this like a lot of games were actually planned for the 64 DD, like Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time was originally supposed to come out on it. Mario Brothers 64 2 was actually supposed to come out on it. The Kirby game was supposed to come out on it, but it just kept on getting delayed and never ended up actually coming on North America. But it did come out in Japan, like the last year the N64 was alive for. It didn't really sell much at all, right? I think the only thing that was noteworthy was F-Zero X, the expansion, which is basically just DLC for F-Zero X. But it had like a track editor, some new courses, and new vehicles and all that kind of stuff. And that's something I really want to get eventually. But the 64 DD is it's crazy expensive, man.
Like, I bet.
I always look at I'm like just one day. Yeah, one area, very limited release. It's top tier collector's item nowadays. It's just one because the thing is, like I said, the N64 is really special to me too, right? It's one of the systems I grew up on. I spent a lot of time on it, so it would just be nice just to have that too. It's like N64, right?
You're just completely locked and loaded. That's what I felt like getting this 32X right here just this weekend. Well, I was just like, finally, my Genesis is complete.
It's complete. The whole Frankenstein setup. It's a lie.
Right? I'm just expecting some thunder just kicking.
Just getting all three of them hooked up at once was like the most satisfying thing for me.
I know, man. Do you even have the holders for the?
There actually is like a special Sega like power brick that you could actually get. It actually has like Sega on it, and it was actually specifically made just so you could plug all three of them at once, right? So they're all spread out and everything. But I don't have anything fancy like that. I just have I got one from Amazon that actually has a good setup for it. It's like there's all the outlets, right? And then there's three at the bottom, and they're all spread out. I was like, this is perfect for the Sega CD32X and the Genesis because it was a perfect fit. So I was like, yeah, I bought that. That's how I do right now. It's my current setup. It's a really nice. It's a really nice setup.
My setup is still in work right now. Like I have to still go get a system selector so I can be able to hit the buttons to get the right console. Because right now it's just like a VCR that's just getting ran over all over the place with getting unplugged and then replugged with a different console. It's kind of a mess right now. If you look back, you can actually see some of the cords, see some of the AV cords right down there and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm saying it. Don't worry, it's not nothing compared to the wire mess that's over here with my modern. I've actually put it on Twitter a few times, and I always get flamed. People saying, "Oh, we gotta get better cable management. You're gonna start a fire one day." It's just a bunch of. It's like
you're just getting lit.
I mean, no fires, right? No fires yet. I live on the edge.
I'm pretty sure we skipped the very first question though. Where can people find you?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. We kept on delaying this just for the same reason. But anyway, you can find me on Twitter. Like you found me on Twitter, right? So you obviously know I'm on there. It's at It's Me Twan. That's my at. And you could also find me. I'm on pretty much all the gaming platforms. Like I'm on Steam, PSN, Xbox. I'm even on Stadia, but I'm never on there, so there's no point in adding me on that. I have an account, but what else am I on? Switch. I mean, I don't remember the friend code off the top of my head, right?
I don't know a whole lot of people that know that off the top of their head.
There's probably those few guys like, oh yeah, my friend code 1986, and they just say it.
No, that's like a credit card number. Or like,
yeah,
I don't know worse than your birth certificate to remember.
Yeah, it's like
or not birth certificate, but social security.
Yeah, social security number. Yeah.
Jeez Louise, but what are you playing right now? I mean, you got that massive stack of PlayStation 2 games, Xbox games, 360 games, PS3 games I can see, I think, off in the distance. Games. Yeah, that rendering distance is insane right now.
Yeah, some PS3 games mixed in there too. Yeah, it's not the best, stacking job. Like I have everything kind of all over the place. I have some stuff just kind of hidden behind here because I just have no room for it. But right now, like it's a struggle every day, right? I kind of just walk into my room like, what am I going to play today, right? Like I just have no idea half the time. Same. But just recently, have you heard, House of the Dead, right? Like the House of the Dead.
Like arcade. Which one are you playing, 2?
Well, the thing, I've played all of them many times, right? Like throughout my years, like I'm a huge fan of it. But have you heard of the new one, Scarlet Dawn? Mm-mm. It's exclusive in arcades right now. So it's essentially the 5th game. Scarlet Dawn. It released back in 2018, so it's still pretty new. It's a pretty solid game. It's not the best game in the series in my opinion, but it's still it's a good time, right? And recently,
they're still pushing arcade games.
Yeah, sometimes it's a very niche audience, but like they still have those exclusives that they pump out every now and then, especially in Japan. Japan has.
I've mostly played House of the Dead on the Dreamcast.
Dreamcast is pretty good. Yeah, I know a lot of people also played the Wii version. It's another popular version that people play.
It's way more fun to play the arcade version.
Oh, 100%. There's nothing can't replicate that light gun feel, right? You shoot the screen.
Oh yeah.
It goes exactly where you pointed.
Oh yeah, and it's just, I mean, the Dreamcast was cool and it was easy and accessible. Because I don't have an arcade in my house.
Yeah, but I wish.
But if you have a chance to play like any of the older or current, because I guess there's current ones, of course. According to you, there's current ones. Go out and play that. That is really fun, especially if you have a partner to play with. It just makes even better.
Oh yeah, 100%. I force my friend to play that all the time with me.
Yeah, it's one of those is it still like a red and blue gun kind of thing?
Oh yeah, 100%. I actually want to show you these here. I'll be back in a sec.
Oh man, he has so much to show off. I mean, just look at the kind of stuff that he got. He has a lot.
I don't know if you ever heard of these bad boys. They're called the Sinden light guns. It was actually really hard to get my hands on these. It's like these guys. It's just like a bunch of it's like a team of 4 guys. They're making these light guns. It's for the PC. And it's like, here we go, red one. I also got a blue one. And these are light guns that actually work on LCD screens. Yeah, so they got see, red and blue. I got the whole setup.
That's hard to believe because you go anywhere and they say, do you have like a CRT?
Yeah.
Because because anytime you buy them, because they won't work on any of the flat panel.
Yeah, these ones are still really new, right? Like I have to fund the Kickstarter just to get these. So what happens is these actually have a camera, like a 60 FPS camera on them, and what it does, it creates a border around the screen, and the camera picks up that border, and it actually works like a light gun. It's actually pretty accurate. Like you shoot and it lands there.
Is it like essentially just like taking a picture each time you shoot and just making
not really. So like the screen doesn't flash white every time you shoot, right? Like for example, it almost moves as it's like you're controlling the mouse with it essentially, right?
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's like an analog kind of thing, but it works really well though. Like I'm actually like really surprised how well these things work. And anyway, back to the topic I was getting at with the House of the Dead. So that new one that were released in 2018, they actually they got dumped online, and essentially now we could actually play it on our PCs now. So
wow.
Yeah, so
that's the reason behind those guns.
Yeah, well, it's not the whole reason. I mean, it's a nice bonus because I have them and now I can actually play them on my TV. The game runs really well. I actually upgraded my graphics card, and I'm really bad. It sucks that I waited this long because I don't know if you've seen the GPU prices lately. They're out of hand.
Yeah,
I have to spend like $900 on this GPU. and it crippled me, but it was worth it because the House of Dead didn't really run very well on my old one. So I was
what
like,
was your old one?
It was a 1050 NVIDIA GTX.
Okay.
I mean, it was
so now
like
you got a
know,
30 series, I assume.
You know, I didn't even get it. I wish I got a 30 series, but the way the prices are, I got a 1660 Super now. It does the job, but for $900. $900. I get flamed every day from my friends for buying it. But I was like, I'm desperate. I'm desperate. I gotta do that. I was just too desperate. I was like, every day, my friend calls me an idiot every day when I wake up.
No.
He's all like, why'd you do that? He's like, what the hell's wrong with you? I was like, I gotta play this game. Like the frames are bothering me. It has to be 60, and now I put it in. Now it works really nice. So,
but I'm happy. I'm happy it works
my wallet,
for you, though.
Yeah, my wallet hurt a little bit, but you know, I'm happy now.
Yeah.
It's not like I spend my money stupidly before. I'm pretty used to just spending my money on stupid stuff.
I mean, if you're in the business of gaming, you're gonna make a bad decision. I've done it myself.
I make bad
One
decisions.
of the Switches I got, one of the Nintendo Switches I got, they stopped putting production in them. So I got excited. And I was like, you know, like, I better hurry up and get myself a Switch. $500 for a Switch. So I get it. Been there, done that. I thought they were gonna because the whole Joy-Con thing was a big deal.
Yeah.
So everybody was selling Switches for crazy money. So I went on ahead and got one because I was thinking, you know, it'd be kind of cool to have one at least. And the prices went back down, got a second one, and I was like, God damn it.
This is around when it came out, right?
What's that?
Was that around the time that Switch came out, or
like a year and a half ago, really?
Oh yeah, because I remember when the Switch first came out, it was really hard to get one.
I think it was actually during the right when the pandemic started.
Ah, okay. So you didn't have a Switch before then? Really? I'm surprised.
No, man.
I thought you'd hop on that stuff immediately.
No, not the Switch. I've always been a big Xbox fan, so I'm always hopping from Xbox to Xbox to Xbox. But PlayStation, but this time, now that I got my stuff. I can start to get all the stuff that I gave away out of just.
Yeah, trading stuff in.
Like trading stuff in, not, you know, being able to afford the next thing, so having to do that. Now it's give me all my stuff back. Yeah, I'm paying a premium for some of this stuff again. But some of it I'm finding for a lot less, so it kind of balances out. And obviously some of this stuff I'm finding for $5, $10, $20 sometimes is stuff I wanted back in the day that was $40, $50, $60. So it really depends on how you want to look at it, how you kind of want to look at it, and what's valuable to you personally. Obviously, this Scarface game that I paid $60 for is valuable to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, obviously that Zelda that's in the box is my lady won the contest.
Girl wants it. Yeah.
My lady won the contest when getting something worth it, because she's seen that the booklet that's in there is worth $50 online alone. So it's just crazy. But what else are you playing right now, man?
Yeah, I'm still in the process of playing through Shin Megami Tensei 5 on the Switch as well. I don't know if you've heard of it. You know, Atlas.
No, I've heard of it.
Make Persona 5. You know, they made all those. Yeah, it's a really good game. The combat, you know, I keep on dying, get a little frustrated. You know, it's a hard game, right? But I'm working my way through it. It's a really fun game. It's really fun.
Okay.
But and what else? Yeah, so like I said, I'm just been replaying the House of the Dead as well. Me and my brother, we were actually playing Typing of the Dead too, and he's getting really into that. I actually have 2 Dreamcast keyboards. We got a whole table setup going. We got Typing of the Dead. And my brother, if you seen him type, you'd be like, how is this guy human? He's just and he's landing them all. I'm like, dude, you're on something. I don't know how you're doing this. He's being I'm playing with him, and he's killing my zombie before I'm halfway typing it. You know, it's I'm like, dude, man, come on. And he's just flexing on me, right? He's not even actually playing the game.
Damn, man. Is there any place that you do like content creation at any point, or are you planning on?
I do plan on doing it. I actually, I don't know if you can see it back there. That's actually I graduated from college, right, for doing broadcasting and videography. So I know editing, I know all that good stuff. I know the cameras. I want to eventually get a nice camera and start making videos, maybe more scripted stuff. You know, just talking about video games. You know, maybe talking about a specific game, a series. You know, just random topics, right?
I mean, you got a lot of content there behind.
Yeah, man. All you gotta do is just pull one game off the shelf, and that's a whole video right there. You know,
it is. Man, it's 10 minutes right there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just knock out a quick 10-minute hit video. Yeah. Bam, bam, bam.
Bam, down.
Give people the facts on it. I mean, hit people over the head with that gun that you got down there.
Yeah, I got a Nomad.
yeah. Talk. You might need 20 minutes to talk about the Nomad.
Yeah, at least 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean that might be a really dig through video just so you can show.
I mean, just Saturn Bomberman alone, I can make like an hour video on Saturn Bomberman. I love that game so much.
So the shirt that you're wearing, are you a big fan of Saturn games? Yes.
I do love the Sega Saturn. It's one of my favorites. I've been collecting for it since I was in high school, and it was expensive then. It's crazy expensive now. I mean, before I remember I looked at Saturn Bomberman, I was like, oh, I'm splurging $100 on this, you know, and I thought that was like crazy at the time. And nowadays I see people trying to push $1,000 on it, so I'm like, well, I'm glad I spent $100 on that, you know.
$1,000 for what again?
Saturn Bomberman, like it's crazy. Like some people, I mean, I'm not sure if people are actually spending that much money, but like that's how much people are trying to get out of it, you know. I'm like, I don't know who's spending this much money on video games, you know. Like I thought it was crazy spending $100 on it. Meanwhile, people are just they're spending like my entire bank account on one game. It's crazy. It's like
I feel that, man. I mean, some of these games in these places that I go will be like $400, $500, $600 for like something like a Persona game for like PSP.
I'm so glad I bought those when I did. I actually got those really cheap. I remember I spent like $20, you know, $40 for Persona 3 Portable, another like $30 for Persona 2. And nowadays those games go for crazy money. Like I see them go for $100 easily nowadays, and especially Persona 3 Portable. Like I see that pushing 200 sometimes.
Yeah, dude. So like, there's a lot of games. Like, I mean, even Def Jam Vendetta Fight for New York is like.
Yeah, I just saw that recently. I'm like, I was like, why is this? Like, didn't it got a greatest hits? Like, it's not a rare game at all. From like, you know,
it's a really good game, but I
know it's good.
Everybody, I was like, you're not gonna catch. I love this game, but this is like not appropriate price. Like
it's like if it was rare, I'd kind of get it.
Xbox, like, I need to do something about this. Like, make this game come back to Game Pass.
I could just imagine it's probably a licensing nightmare though, that game.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got rappers, you got the game is named after a label.
Exactly, right. Like, just. I know. If anything, I'd probably make it more expensive because what they'd probably do is make it disc only on the backwards compatibility program, right? And that'd probably actually drive up costs for the original release because they'd be like, oh, now we got to get the disc version to play it on the Series X. So now who knows? They'll probably go for 2 times the amount it's going for now, you know? So unless they make it digitally, right? Then that would probably bring it down. But I don't know. It's really, man, video games are feeling like the stock market nowadays. It's like you gotta look. I'm looking at all the numbers, looking at the graphs going up and down. It's like I just want to buy video games. You know, I don't care. Like, you know, at the end of the day, it's like I don't really plan on selling any of this stuff.
So big, man. Emulation is becoming so big, and I mean, it's been big for a long time. But like now that people are able to like get more hardware and people are more aware of how good these hardware like for instance, I have a 3000 series card, and that's like one of the first cards I've had in a long time. I just decided to build a computer on my own and just so happened to stay the night in the parking lot and be early in place in line. Just lucky and dedicated and maybe dumb. But I did it, and like thinking of that and seeing all these people in a mad dash to get this stuff now.
Yeah,
like including myself, obviously. Like,
yeah, you're part of that crowd.
yeah. I'm 100% part of the crowd, but I'm a gamer from Xbox, but I wanted to make my own content. And the one thing that I wanted to make sure that I could have to be able to make my own content is a stable longevity PC. I didn't want to build something just to play Fortnite or something like that,
or House of the Dead, like my
whatever. Like, you build your computer the way you want to. I built mine to like
content.
Like a rock Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Like you know, I don't want it to die for a long time. So that's the reason I went out of my way to do what I did. But it was expensive. It was expensive every step of
But when did you actually build it though? Like what year?
I built it like a year and a half ago.
Oh man, if you built it now, it'd be twice as more expensive.
No, not even a year and a half ago, actually. It was just a year ago, actually.
Just a year ago? So it was probably still pretty expensive, man.
It was hell of expensive. This card that I got, my 3080, is supposed to be like $799 or $850 or something like that. I bought it for like, well, after like I put the insurance and everything on it, was like $1,300. Just so I can make sure to have the warranties and everything with it. But like, I had to stay overnight, you know, I had to track that.
You have to work it for it.
Months. Like, it was hard to do. Like, people think getting a PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah.
Or getting or not a PlayStation 2, but a PS5.
PS5, yeah.
Or a Xbox Series X. They think that's hard. Go get a GPU. Good fucking luck.
Yeah. And that's what really bothers me, because a lot of people will make the argument, be like, oh, just build a PC instead of getting an Xbox. I mean, like, have you seen the prices? I mean, getting a GPU alone that's as capable as a Series X, you're going to spend way over for an Xbox Series X. Mm-hmm. You know, just the price alone just for a GPU.
And like, depending on where you live makes it so much worse. I just so happen to live somewhere where there's a Micro Center.
Yeah.
So if you know Micro Center, and you know, you have a chance. There's a chance, you know, if there's a Micro Center around. But like, if your best bet is like maybe like a Best Buy that might be, you know, 4 hours away or something like that, you got to think about how many people there are like that. You know, living in rural areas, they don't have, you know, they have Walmart and maybe a Best Buy. Or, you know, a couple places to go. But they're gamers too, you know, and they're playing on super duper old PCs and whatnot. And I mean, it's just crazy how popular it is become, and how much more popular it's going to get. Because if you watch some of these news conferences with AMD and NVIDIA and Intel, you see some of this AI stuff that they're coming out with. It's gonna be insane, dude. And just the next few years. Yeah,
the crypto miners don't help with the prices either. You know, those always drive things up.
Yeah, crypto mixed with freaking just people that want to buy and sell. Yeah. People that just want to buy and sell. Scalpers. Yeah, man. Yeah. Scalpers are the worst, but
you know, they're pushing, right?
Yeah,
it's just the grind at the end of the day.
You know, as much as these big companies say they hate it, they don't hate it. Their products.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they're the reason why they're selling so fast, right? Because these guys, they set up all these bots, they're buying them all up. Like, oh, it's selling so well, you know, because they're buying all of it.
I mean, they're able to get one for their family, friends, for the most part. I mean, but you know, it's crazy when dev teams are having hard time getting consoles.
Yeah, there's that whole thing with Xbox, right, where they have to use the development kits for the Halo tournament.
Yeah,
so they can't even get the series. They can't even get the Series X.
Oh man. And like I said, if you think getting an Xbox and a PS5 is hard, go get yourself a 30 series card. I got really lucky with the PS5, because with the PS5, what they did
was they just dropped the pre-order like out of nowhere. It was like everyone was just surprised by it, right? And I just went on Twitter and I was like, I'm just gonna check Twitter, right? Like I was planning on doing something else, but I was like, I'll just check it. And then like 2 minutes ago, the pre-orders went up. I just went on there, just pre-ordered it right away. I was like, oh, that was easy, you know. But then luckily, 10 minutes later, freaking chaos ensued, right? And then the websites were crashing. And I was like, thank God I wasn't a part of that.
Oh,
So I
man,
managed to get it day one. I was really lucky.
You smoothly walked in there and got it.
Yeah, I just walked in there, just bought. I was like, I'll take that, and I just walked out. Yeah.
Wow.
And I even after I bought that, I was like, man, that was really easy. I was expecting it to be that easy, right? I think 10 minutes, all the websites crashed. So I got so lucky.
And you were probably online flexing, just like you were with that, like you were with that Nomad. Just like I don't see y'all's issue.
Yeah, I was like
the problem, y'all.
Literally, right after I went to my friend's group chat, right, and I said I just got the PS5. It wasn't hard at all, right? And then eventually they said, yeah, I can't get it. You know, like, what are you talking about? And yeah, all the websites were crashing. Yeah. It was.
Yeah, man, you got in there right before lunchtime, man. Right before
exactly.
lunchtime.
The Series X was a lot harder because like they actually planned that, right? All the websites crashed. I managed to get it at the source, but just barely. It was like 2 hours after the pre-orders went up. All the websites were crashing, you know. And luckily, I just managed to squeeze it in there. I was like, yeah, nice, got it, you know.
All right, so we see your collection, and you've talked about wanting to get into making your own content.
Eventually, yeah, down the road. I do have a YouTube channel though. It's also just called TWON as well. I don't really know.
Dope, easy
TWON, right?
Easy to
find.
Yo,
you watched TWON's latest video, done, right? it's
done.
Like it rolls right off the tongue, you know.
TWON and done.
Yeah, nice.
Got it. But so you have this stuff kind of going on. At what point did gaming get like to be important to who you are? And like,
who I am?
Make you, just to who you are. How'd you become such a big gamer and a collector? And like you've had a lot of this stuff for a long time.
I did have it for a long time. I've started since I was in high school. You know, while people were busy partying, doing their parties, smoking weed and all that stuff, I was just working and buying video games, right? But I've since like grade 10 is like when I really wanted to start taking it seriously. That was like back in like around like 2013. That's like when I really started taking it seriously. Like I did buy stuff before that, but like because I was watching guys like, have you heard of Adam Koralik on YouTube? Like guys like him. Now he's not the biggest YouTuber of all time, but even just guys like AVGN, just just seeing their collections, just seeing how much passion they had for it, and just I used to use emulators back when I was a kid. And I just kind of got frustrated just how unreliable they could be sometimes. And I was like, I just want to use the real thing, you know? Like I'm just tired of it. So I got a Dreamcast. That was like one of the first new systems I bought. And eventually it just kind of went from there. I got a Saturn. I always had a Genesis because I grew up with that in the N64. We had a PS2 growing up as well. And and eventually just kind of went on. I bought more stuff. And then here I am now with just all these games I just have no time to play, you know? Like,
now you just got piles on piles going everywhere.
Yeah, then I think I've been gaming since I was a kid though, like 3 years old. I'm at least, you know, like I said, I played Mario Kart 64 back at my grandmother's because my uncle had it there. We just kind of played it, you know. Yeah, we had the Genesis back in my cottage. And now I have that same Genesis here. Now I kind of inherited that, and just growing up playing these games. PS2 obviously was a big part of it as well. And they've got the 360 as well. This was a funny story. Back to the House of the Dead. I actually never had a PS3 until 2012 because House of the Dead 4 actually got ported to it. That was actually my system seller, believe it or not. Wow. Just a $10 PSN title. Like, if you check my PSN account, go to PSN profiles, go on Antonio AD 14, you'll see the first trophy I ever have on that account was from House of the Dead 4. Like that was actually
love it that much.
Yeah, that was my system seller. I'm probably the only person on the planet that had House of the Dead 4 as a system seller. Like, I'm confident in that.
Like that's rare. It's rare. You know, House of the Dead's a big game, but it's definitely a big.
It kind of fell off. Off a little bit. But, like you didn't even know about the new game, right? And you said right. You even know about Skylar Dawn.
I absolutely did not.
Yeah.
what was the most memorable moment that you've had throughout your gaming history?
Like a special thing I bought or something like that, or maybe like just a game that I really
like a game, a console, a launch, whatever. Like
maybe honestly, like the PS4 was actually the first time like I actually worked for it. You know, I had a job and everything, and I got my money to get a PS4. That was like the first system I actually went to my own wallet and actually paid for. And that was actually pretty interesting, right? Because obviously my older consoles, like the PS3, I got that with like birthday money and all that stuff. And you know, the older consoles, my parents bought those, like the PS2, and yeah, just all those Game Boys. Those were always, you know, from my parents, right? Because I was a kid at the time, right?
Right.
So yeah, like the PS4 was like the first time I actually had like a job and everything, right? And I actually spent that with my hard-earned money. So that was a pretty interesting moment. And it's funny because I barely had enough money for it. Like I was putting out quarters just to, the guy that was, you know, on the other end. He's like, "Yo, man, you don't have enough money for this." And I'm like, "No, trust me, I do." Like I'm putting out every quarter I have. I'm like, "Trust me, I'm gonna get there." You know, I'm pulling out quarters. I felt bad for this guy because he had to count all of them, right?
Right.
But I just had enough for it, right, for taxes and everything. And it was during Black Friday. So it was like a sale that was going on, and so it was like my one chance to really get it.
Oh my goodness! And did you even have anything to play on it then, since you had to spend all that?
I don't remember. I think it came with Uncharted. It was the Uncharted bundle. It came with the Uncharted Legacy Collection and all that stuff. So I had that, and eventually I got Guilty Gear right after that. Rev 2, no, just Rev, just the regular Revelator. I don't know if you ever played Guilty Gear.
Nope.
Like, that's a great fighting game though.
I know it's a big time fighting game.
Yeah.
That
I was really into it that time.
Mega likes, but I've never actually played it.
Yeah, so for the longest time, those are the two games I had, was just Uncharted and Guilty Gear Revelator, and those are like, I played Revelator a lot because you could obviously imagine it was like the only game I had on it. But luckily, I went off on my friend's PSN. He had a lot of PSN Plus games, and I kind of played those as well. You know,
Dope.
So it was a tougher time. Really, you know, I didn't have, you know, the money I have now, right? Where I actually have like a good paying job and everything. So yeah, it's different times, man. Right? Yeah.
Well, let's go back a little bit, and I want to kind of know what your most like beloved console of all time was.
I mean, I don't know, I have a lot of like favorites, right? Like the N64 is like the most nostalgic to me. I love the Saturn, just like I just love the library the Saturn has, just all the games it has, like the arcade games, and like even like, I don't know if you've like, it's you just got a Saturn right now, right? Like I recommend getting an Action Replay. It's one of these guys. I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
Man, like you're just pulling stuff out of everywhere. Like
here it is.
Hold up, let me pull this out. Hold up, let me pull
yeah. I just having everything just in arm's reach. But this over here, this is a must if you have a Sega Saturn. Like it's like what this does is it unlocks the region coding so you can play Japanese titles. You know, it has the standard stuff like cheat codes. It even has the 4 megabyte RAM built into it, so you can play games like X-Men versus Street Fighter.
So that's the cartridge that goes in the top.
Yeah, it's a cartridge. Yeah, this is a third party one, but it's like really good. This is the one that everyone points at. And so yeah, like I said, the import's a good one, right? Playing import games, because the import scene is a lot cheaper than the North American games. Like a lot of the North American games are like, you know, $500, but the Japanese version of that game is like $20, you know. But yeah, it's really good. And plus, the Saturn just has a lot of Japanese exclusives as well, right? So it's just worth getting it for that. And another thing about that card I forgot to mention was that actually you could even store saves on it as well. Like it's like even access a memory card as well. So basically, the Sega Saturn actually has a memory, like a battery. And if that battery goes out, your saves go with it as well, which is something you got to keep aware of that. So yeah, honestly, if I was you, I would just buy a bunch of those batteries and just have them on the side, because once that battery goes out, you got to replace that if you want to even save games, right? So the guys, I would recommend backing them up. That's the one problem, right? Was like once the battery goes, your saves go as well. So something you got to keep in mind.
That's terrible.
Yeah. And the Saturn doesn't even have that much memory built into it with the battery, right? So it's nice to have that extra storage that you could just put in there, take it out when you need it. It's really nice to have. Like honestly, like I wouldn't know where I'd be without it. Like just playing the Sega Saturn, like it's a must-have. Like
All right, man. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, you have to. It's only like $40. It's like
that
40,
doesn't sound
30
too
bucks.
bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm not sure. That's when I bought it, right? That was like years. That was like 10 years ago. I don't know what it goes for now.
Well, it might be expensive now.
I don't think it goes for much. I think they're like pretty mass produced. I'm gonna check right now. Actually, let me play Saturn, because I remember the guy. He had like loads of them, and he was just handing them out. Yeah, see, like it's still going for $40. As you see over here. One guy's trying to do it for $50, free shipping though, so it's not too bad. This is Canadian, by the way. This I don't know. You're probably USD over that, I imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, $40 Canadian, right? So that's even cheaper for you.
Yeah, it's like 30, 35 or something like that. Just a little cheaper. It's not like it's not like crazy more or crazy less or whatnot. I know some of your guys' games for PS5.
Yeah.
Like what did you say? Like $90?
Yeah. So ever since the PS4 came out, they actually put $20 extra. So we used to be $60 here, like in the US, for the longest time, throughout the PS3 and the 360 generation. But ever since the PS4 came out, they bumped it up to $80 from $60. Ooh. So you guys think you have it rough. We're used to being screwed over now, because like we've been paying $80, and now they bumped it up to $90, and then plus taxes. We're almost spending $100 on games, just one game.
Yikes.
You know?
That's awful.
It's pretty crazy. But like I said, I'm used to it. I'm used to getting screwed over, so that doesn't even faze me anymore.
That's crazy. So yeah, everyone complaining about $70.
Yeah, I know. It's like, yeah, man, you try going to Canada for a week. It's like,
go shopping in Canada, you're gonna come back.
Well,
broke.
to you guys, it's probably good because you have the American dollars, and it probably it probably averages out, because you spend the American dollars, it probably converts back or something. I'm not sure how that works.
But it sounds insane.
Yeah, it sounds worse, right? Just saying $80, right?
So here's a game I do every episode, and I think this one's going to be really fun because you know so many dang different consoles, so you'll be able to pull out different games of all different sorts. Without overthinking, I'm going to name a game, and I want you to name I'm going to name a console, excuse me, and I want you to name the first game that comes to mind when I name
I can offer that.
Okay?
All right.
So the first one I'm going to pull out, since you got it and you flexed it on me, is going to be Nomad.
Yeah. So the first console for the Nomad?
The first game you think about for the Nomad, yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say it, but I guess I'll say Sonic 2, because it's a cliche choice, right?
Sure.
Like, I guess I'll say Sonic 2, right? Obviously, that's a Sega Genesis, right? So the first thing you think of is a Sonic. That's just, a no-brainer. But I guess if you want to choose something I personally love, it'd probably be Shinobi 3.
Okay.
That's like probably my, when I really think, when I think of the games I really love on that system, it'd definitely be Shinobi 3, without a doubt. Sonic 2 is the first game that comes to mind, but a game that I really love on this system, Shinobi 3. I don't know if you want me to pull it out right now. I could do that. But it's all the way over there. I don't know. I have to take my headphones off and go over there.
You don't gotta do that. How about Super Nintendo?
Rock and Roll Racing.
Rock and Roll Racing.
But oh my god, my cousin had a Super Nintendo back in the around 2004. He had the Super Nintendo, and that was one of the games he had, was Rock and Roll Racing. And I just played that game so much. I loved it. Oh my god, I love that game so much. I actually have a T-shirt of Rock and Roll Racing over here. Wait, let me pull it out. I gotta pull this up.
You just gotta show it. You gotta show everything. It's so funny. This is a great episode just for that fact.
Just the Rock and Roll Racing. I love this. I love this game so much. I always just pop that in every few times.
That's dope.
It's when I buy a shirt for something, I know that makes you know I really like it.
I think that's the same for everybody. Yeah. But how about PlayStation 2?
PlayStation 2? Oh, that's a trickier one. Oh, there's so many games on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
I gotta look at it. Do you know what? I'm gonna go with Ape Escape 2.
Ooh.
Have you ever heard of that one?
Yes, absolutely. You kept the guy use a
gotcha.
And they have like the hats with like the sirens on it.
Every year, I at least play that game once. Like that game is just so fun to play. Like I just can't get over it. Like the music's good.
Dude,
like, the gameplay's good.
I almost bought that game. It was like 60 or 70.
Yeah, it's getting up there in price.
But it didn't have the book in it, so I passed on it, man. I just didn't feel right buying that, like spending that much money for a game that's not complete. Yeah, like I wanted the booklet. That's what I do with all the games that I like all the games. Like there are definitely games I buy that don't have the books in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't care about those games.
Yeah.
But the games I care about that I'm willing to spend upwards of $40, $50, $60. Gotta get the case and everything. Gotta have like the crispy. It can't be all nasty and gross and looks like somebody poured Kool-Aid on it or something like that. It has to be fairly nice, and I definitely don't want my disc written on. I hate it when I
have so many N64 games that are like that. It's like I forgot the guy's name, but it's all over my games because I actually got like a good stack of N64 games, and a lot of them are owned by this Jerry guy. I'm just like, yeah, thanks, Jerry. You know, it just has it written all over. And these are good games too. It's like Harvest Moon 64 written on it.
Oh, it's expensive.
Yeah, I got it for free. I got it for free. Look, I got really lucky with that one.
Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry.
It's always a Jerry screw.
Jerry. I got Mario 64, GoldenEye. You know, it's all these good games that they got in there. But it's all this Jerry guy. Yes, he just kind of let me. He left his mark on it. You know.
So you said PlayStation 2. Which game? Was
Ape Escape 2.
Ape Escape 2. That's right. Yeah.
The thing is, though, Ape Escape 2. There's actually a PS4 version. Technically, it's on that PS2 Classics version, but it's not the North American version though. And that's actually a big deal, right? Because the North American version actually had different voice acting because it was actually published by Ubisoft. It wasn't published by Sony, the North American one. And that actually had Pokemon voice acting for the anime. So you actually had like Ash and Misty from the Pokemon. Like they didn't even try to change the voices. They literally straight up use those voices to voice those characters. And it kind of adds a lot of charm to the game, in my opinion. And like the PS4 version, that too, right? The PS4 version uses the European voices, and everyone sounds British, and it kind of just throws me off.
Fair enough. So, does that? I'm sure that makes that copy on PS4 probably a little bit more expensive for that fact.
No, the PS4 copy. No, that's digital only, right?
Oh, it's digital
PS4.
Only.
Yeah, it's like a PS2 Classics emulated version, right?
Oh,
and also. Gotcha. The European version also ran at 50 frames per second on the PS2. I'm not really sure if the PS4 version runs at 50 frames per second, though. I got to really check. So I'm not sure about that fact because that'd also be something to bring up. But yeah, that's probably another reason why the North American version goes for so much, right? Because it hasn't been re-released technically, right? It's technically a unique version of it.
Fair enough. Yeah, for sure. I mean, and like I said, it was like $60 or $70 when I was looking at. And it looked good when I was looking online, like, oh, that kind of makes sense.
It's a really fun game. So also I'm creaking the chair again.
but without the manual, I just had to pass on. I like my games to be pretty crispy when I get them if I'm gonna spend that kind of money. Unless it's just that insane but that's super rare. To find the game incomplete and be super good in price, worth, and whatnot. But anyways, moving on to the next console, I want to say the original Xbox.
Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. Without a doubt. Outrun 2006. Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. Have you heard about that game?
No.
Outrun 2? No? Here, I'll pull it up real quick. Oh no, fuck. There we go, right here. Okay.
Maybe I just need to see the case of it to remember.
Sorry about that, my thing disconnected. I got up too fast.
No, you're good. No, maybe I need to see the case again. I don't know. Maybe I've seen it. Maybe
this guy right here. Outrun 2006.
Nope, I haven't played that.
This game is a masterpiece. One of my favorite games of all time. This one right here. The Xbox version is the one that you want to get because I could go on all full nerd mode right now. Like it'll probably go right through your head and me talking, but the original Outrun 2 was developed on the Sega Chihiro. It was an arcade board that was actually based off the original Xbox, right?
Okay.
And because of that, the port to the Xbox is just pretty much arcade perfect, right? It's just a simple conversion, right? Because it was technically developed for the Xbox in mind. So you could get it on the PS2. There's actually even a PSP version that I have as well. And that version, it's good, but you could tell, it's not as good as this one right here, right? And it's actually really expensive nowadays, this one here. Like, it's one of the more expensive OG Xbox games over in 2006. It was a pretty late title too. And it's great, amazing game. Honestly, go out and play it, please, just somehow. It's really hard though. It's really hard to get a hold of it nowadays because Sega lost the Ferrari license, right? So they can't really re-release it anymore because you can see it right here, right? Ferrari licensed. Sega doesn't have the Ferrari license anymore. So it was actually on, like I said, I think I was talking about you did this before, Outrun Online Arcade on the PS3, how it got delisted 10 years ago. It's for that reason, right?
Okay.
And they never got the license back, so most likely we're probably never going to see a re-release of this game, or it's definitely not going to be in the backwards compatibility program, that's for sure, right? But it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Once things get delisted, it can't go on the backwards compatibility list.
Yeah, right. Just licensing nightmare, right?
It sucks though, but it is what it is. I mean, that's why they have laws, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyways,
damn you laws.
Yeah, damn you laws. Sega Dreamcast.
Typing of the Dead.
Typing of the Dead.
Typing of the Dead has to be Typing of the Dead. That's just it's like the perfect, like, it just shows you how wacky Sega was. Just like, you get a keyboard for a home console, right? And then you're playing this game where you're killing zombies with a keyboard. It's just like it doesn't get any more Sega than that. It just shows Sega you how
unique. Throughout its lifespan, it was the word unique.
Yeah, like honestly, nowadays you don't see that nowadays. You don't see a game where you need to have a keyboard as a peripheral, right? And then you have to, especially on a console, right? It's just so out there, right? And we don't really see that nowadays. And it just shows you how Sega was back then. They're like, yeah, sure, let's do that. Let's just go for it, They kind of threw anything at the wall that stuck, right? And they didn't care how much it costed. They just went for it. Like the Sega CD at 32X, they're like, sure, let's spend $1 billion and see if it fails, it fails, right? And that's why they're not making consoles anymore, right?
Right, because they just didn't get it. They just
they're too unique, They're too unique.
But let's move to those couple of consoles, the Sega CD and 32X. What are the two games? Which one do you pick for each of those consoles?
Okay, for the 32X, I think I gotta go with Knuckles Chaotix for the 32X.
Dude, that game is insane. It's like an $80 game right now.
Oh, is it? I don't know. I bought it. I actually bought it before I even had a 32X. I just wanted to have it. But I got it back in high school. I remember I was in class and I was like doing some bid wars with this guy on it, and I managed to get it for like $40. This was like back in 2014, I think. And I'm not really sure how much it goes for nowadays, but yeah, I got it a while ago, and I you just say, but anyway, I had it for like years, right? And I never even had a 32X to play it until recently, like 2 years ago. I got a 32X, and I just played it with my friend. It's a nice co-op game too, because the way it works is like, you have two guys and they're like jointed together, right? It's not like Sonic 2. Where you're playing as Sonic and the guy is kind of playing with you with Tails, and you're kind of just ditching them every time,
Yeah,
it's like an actual 2-player experience.
You actually have like a rubber band.
It's like you actually have to talk to the guy, be like, okay, you got to do this and we got to do that. It's more of a social experience, right?
It's kind of weird when you watch it like warm up, where they're like, he like runs one way, runs another way, and then like launches off.
Like you could do like, honestly, like a lot of people hate it because of that. They think, oh, it's too weird, they don't like the way everything is, set up. But like honestly, like once you figure out those physics, like it can be really satisfying pulling off some like crazy stuff in that game where you can just slingshot, you could skip a half the level, you can continue it midair. And it's just the way, if you really figure it out, you could have a lot of fun with it. And even the bonus stages,
the bonus stages, falling straight down.
No. It's not that's a different one. Those are like yeah, actually that is the bonus stage. But actually, so I was more referring to the special stages where you when you get to 50 coins and you get to that big ring at the end.
Okay, yeah.
So it was basically just like a hallway, like a 3D hallway, and it's basically like a 3D kind of platforming kind of section. And they're like my favorite special stages in the entire series, honestly. Like they're really fun.
I think like that's what I'm talking about, where you're like going.
No, I think no, you're thinking about the other one.
Like
you're thinking
bouncing on.
Yeah. That's the special stages. So no, not the special. The bonus stages. Those are the bonus stages where you're because like every time you there's the bonus stages and there's the special stages. Those are the bonus stages which you're referring to. So like when you're going down a hallway, you're bouncing on like score like rings. It's like all these squares that you're bouncing off of. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and there's like these like cracked bouncing things that you can jump on.
Yeah. So those are the bonus stages. But yeah, like I said, I was referring to the special stages. But yeah, those ones are okay. But yeah, the special stages are where it's really at though.
All right, now Sega CD.
Sega CD. Maybe Snatcher. I think I gotta go with that one. Yeah, have you heard of Snatcher? Snatcher.
Nope. I haven't got to check that one out.
Honestly, you probably won't be able to check it out because the price it goes for nowadays. I don't think you will be able to do that.
Really, it's like that.
It's a top dollar game on Sega CD. It was made by Kojima. He directed it. Ooh, and it's it's already just me talking about it. It's like, oh yeah, that's gonna be expensive. Yeah, Sega CD exclusive. And I'm gonna pull something out again. This guy over here. This is the Konami Justifier. Yeah, I actually bought this just for Snatcher because you have these shooting sections in the game where all these, it's like Terminator kind of like robots that kind of come at you and you got to shoot them. You could play with a D-pad or you could use this and actually have fun with it, So it's a great game. It's like more of a visual novel kind of experience.
Is that adventure game Who Killed Jack or Who Killed something? I don't remember.
It was on the Sega CD?
Yeah, it was on the Sega CD.
Who Killed?
Hold on real quick. I want to see what that was because I'm
Snatcher
now. No, it wasn't on Snatcher. It was its own game.
Oh, I thought you were talking about yeah. Maybe if you pull it up, if I see the card, like, oh yeah, that game.
I'm kind of curious. Who killed Sega CD?
Who killed Sega CD?
Yeah, it'll find it.
Yeah. You just need those keywords.
Yep, and then all I put was Who shot Johnny Rock?
Who shot Johnny Rock? Can I see the cover? I gotta see the cover.
All right, so
maybe I'll pull it up on my phone.
I was gonna buy this game, but I wasn't.
It's probably expensive.
No, it's not that expensive. It just you needed a gun for the game.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Who shot Johnny
Rock?
Hey, I'm gonna search it up on my phone. Yeah, I think. It looks like.
It's like one of those movie kind of games, but you can shoot.
Yeah. It's like an FMV kind of experience thing.
Yeah.
Is it on a Sega CD?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, it's all. Yeah, that looks like a 3DO game to me. So yeah, it was on 3DO. It looks like.
Yeah, man. That's another console I really want is the 3D.
Yeah, that's actually something I don't have. That's something that's kind of been on my radar. But first, a console I want to get. Like the one that's next on my list is probably the TurboGrafx, and then after the TurboGrafx, it's probably the Neo Geo CD. Those are like the next on my list.
I seen a Neo Geo and it was going for a lot of money.
But that was probably the AES the AES console though, the one with the cartridges, right? That one goes for a lot.
No, I think the one I seen was with the CD.
This in the Neo Geo CD. There is a Neo Geo CDX. That is actually really expensive because that could actually load up discs faster, right? So I know the regular Neo Geo CD doesn't go for much. You could like maybe $300 max, I'd say on that. Canadian, by the way. So I that's something that's been on my list. So and of course the TurboGrafx, like I said before. But the TurboGrafx CD, that's something I want to get eventually as well. But that thing goes for so much money. Jesus Christ.
All right, and I'm going to ask you just a couple more just because I'm curious. But OG NES.
Oh, it's a Nintendo Entertainment System? Hmm. Hmm. I gotta think hard about this one. I want to say. I kind of just want to say Duck Hunt. just kind of just say. I think I'm gonna say Duck Hunt. I really like Duck Hunt. Like back in the day, when I just saw someone get the zapper and point at the screen, that just blew my mind. I'm like, wait, what? because I was used to the Wii, right? And you have to have the sensor bar hooked up. I'm like, how is that even working? This is like back in like 2004, right? I just didn't know how that shit worked, and it just blew my mind.
Yeah,
man. And just playing the game nowadays, like I can still pop that game in every now and then, and just have fun with it. Like it's one of the games I actually return just to the most on it, just because just simple fun, you know. And it still looks great. It still plays great. It's just it's honestly just.
And then the last one I'm gonna go with is going to be. Oof, I'm pulling this out of nowhere. I guess I'll have to go with Xbox 360.
Xbox 360. I'm gonna say Ninja Gaiden 2.
Ooh.
Have you ever played that one?
Yes, I'm familiar with that.
Like especially the 360 version specifically, because I know there has been Ninja Gaiden 2 Sigma versions, and those are basically garbage versions of Ninja Gaiden 2 because they removed all the gore. There's less enemies on screen. The combat is like slower. It's not a good version of the game. But the original 360 version of it, it's freaking chaos. Like there's like 30 enemies going at you at once. You're just pretty much mashing buttons, just trying to just try to breathe. You just have how many enemies they throw at you. Blood and guts and arms again thrown all over the place. It's just such a fun time, and it's just we don't really just get just games like that anymore. It's just. And just the story
too. I'm so excited to play this game because you can shoot people and it tells you whether you shot them in the kidney or
that's pretty interesting.
Legs, and
I gotta check that game out.
He talks a lot of trash, Tony Montana style, 100%. It's just like a game that I'd have a hard time believing they'd come out with nowadays.
Yeah, even back on Ninja Gaiden 2, the original 360 version, like when you actually played on the 360, they had some frame rate issues. You know, the resolution wasn't the best, but the backwards compatibility program, everything has been cleaned up. The frame rate's smooth 60, never drops. 4K looks gorgeous, and I was like, this is it. This is the best way to play the game, and it's amazing. It's a great game. It's just a fun time. Just turn your brain off. And the story is just absolute madness. It's just so funny. Just how absolutely chaotic the story is.
Okay, so now we're gonna hop onto a new subject. I'm kind of curious because you play a lot of different games and everything like that. What is what's a type of game that you'll never see Twan playing?
Another type of game you won't see me play.
Yeah.
I mean, I could like, does it have to be a good game? Like, we're gonna be a bad game?
It could be whatever. Like, what's a game that you're just like, dude, like it doesn't even have to be a game. It could be like a genre, even like a genre that you just don't really mess with.
I'm a pretty open-minded guy, so like I'm not be like, oh, this is a genre I don't like. Usually, I always give something a chance if I know it's a good game. You know.
Fair. Yeah.
So, I would say like a game that you would never see me play. Like at least, you know, if I wasn't forced to play it, or if there's some circumstance that, you know, that would make me play, it would probably be like Balan Wonderworld, maybe.
What's that?
I don't know if Balan Wonderworld.
Ooh.
Have you heard of that one?
No.
So it's a game that Yuji Naka just recently made. It's actually the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog, and a lot of people, it just came out like last year. Like it's a pretty new game, and unfortunately, it's not a good game at all. Like I don't know if you heard about it. Like it's like 40% Metacritic. I played it and I was like, no, he screwed it up. Like I spent like $80-$90 on this game, right? And it's like, it just kind of just feels like a slap in the face, honestly, you know?
That's messed up.
You know? because
like,
I had so much hope.
I want to play it.
I had so much hope on this game, right? And in this guy that was developing, and it's just he just bombed it. I don't know. Maybe he'll have like an excuse in the future why it turned out that way. I don't know. Maybe it was like didn't have much time or something. Who knows? But it's just not a good game at all. It's unfortunate. And the reason why I chose that game is just because of how it really hit me, because like I said, I spent $90 on it, it's a game I had a lot of hope in.
I'm kind of curious just to see what that game is now. I'm gonna have to look it up.
I could pull up the cover if you want.
No, I'll look it up. I'll look it up here in a little bit. You gotta pull down. You gotta end up with a pile of games in front of you.
Yeah, it's like, oh fuck.
All right. Well, what were like the 3 games that were best for you of the last year that came out last year?
Last year. And what did come out last year? Oh wait, that was actually I think Ratchet and Clank came out last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a game I really liked that game. That was pretty fun. Psychonauts 2, great game. I love that game. It's like easily my game of the year last year was Psychonauts 2.
Really? That's awesome.
Psychonauts 2 was awesome. Did you play it?
Yeah, I beat it.
Oh yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, that was fantastic. The story was insane. It was crazy to find out who was the person behind everything, and it was ultra weird.
Yeah, man, we waited too long for that sequel.
It was generations. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking. I don't know. Did you ever play the first one? You played the first one, right?
I played a little bit of the first one.
You got to beat it, man. What are you doing?
I didn't beat it. I got through the first I got through what's his name's I got through the beginning kind of part where you were going through that dude's
boot camp
mind,
kind of thing.
The boot camp where you're going and talking to that guy that leads that crew.
Yeah. It's the big orange one, right?
I think so, man. I'd have to go back and play, man.
This is now's a good chance because it's in the backwards compatibility program, right? You can play it in 4K and all that fancy.
At the time, I was going for achievements, and that game didn't have achievements.
Yeah, it doesn't have achievements now.
So
Hey, play it on Steam.
It was played. It was played for a little bit, and then I just moved on because I was like, I need to get these achievements. But I'll definitely have to go back and check it out. It is a good game. It was fun. It was fun for sure, and the fighting was pretty good. It doesn't compare to the new one though. The new one
the new one's just smooth.
Yanked me in, and I wasn't even playing that one for achievements, believe it or not, because
just playing fun.
It's funny. I played the first one and I was like, no achievements, and kept playing it. And then I played the second one and I was just like, what achievements? I don't care about achievements. This is great.
That's the pros and cons about achievements in nowadays, right? You want to play an older system, it's like, I'm not getting achievements now. I could play on a newer system and get achievements and play a game, but now it's because you always want to have those achievements, right? Especially with the Nintendo Switch. It's like I could have the Switch version get the portability aspect, or I could get on the PlayStation or Xbox, and I could get achievements and everything, right? And trophies.
As you see with my collection growing, my care for achievements are dwindling fast. So I'm obviously not going to get any achievements playing on a PS2, Dreamcast, or anything like that.
You're right.
So
not gonna see that thing pop up.
I just don't care that much about my achievements like I used to, especially with my PlayStation. I don't really have much trophies on there at all.
Yeah,
I actually skipped the PS3 and PS4 whole generation.
Really?
Skipped those, yeah.
Man, there's a lot of great PS4 games, man.
I know, man. So there's a lot I'm gonna have to get in the future. I'm not gonna pay $300 for a PlayStation 4 right now.
Well, you have a PS5, it looks like, so it should be set on PS4 at least.
Yeah, right? and plus my PS5 could play a lot
backwards
of that.
Compatible, right?
But it'd be kind of cool to have a PlayStation Pro at some point, just to have one.
Yeah, even though I do have a PS4 and I do have a PS5, I still a part of me wants to get a Pro, even though I really don't need it, just to have it.
Right, because I have my OG Xbox One, and then I have my, and I actually mean Xbox One,
Yeah, like the
and
action.
I have the Xbox One X. I had the One S as well, but I sold that to a buddy for like $100 a couple years ago. But yeah, man. I mean, now I'm just like a connoisseur like crazy, and I just want all this stuff, and I want to learn. I want to learn more about a lot of these different kind of games and stuff like that, so I can get more of an appreciation of what I do have now and how the times have changed. Because, I mean, I come from those older times, so
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels really good. I mean, obviously, I don't want to go all the way back to Atari. That's just too much. That's just too old for me. There's just not enough gameplay in Atari and stuff like that. But like from NES up, I want to just like see these people's visions and how it developed here. And you know, it's crazy to see where Activision came from Pitfall to now.
Yeah, Pitfall. Some of the Activision stuff on the Atari is actually pretty nice. Like they've made some like the best games on the Atari. Like Hero, I think, was one that they also made. But that game actually looks really good. That's one game that actually kind of wanted me to get an Atari just to play that on experience it. I don't actually have an Atari. It's something that's kind of on my radar, but like maybe it's like not too high up there. It's like maybe if I have enough time, I get the stuff I really want. Like I said, for example, I wanted the TurboGrafx first. I want the Neo Geo CD first. Maybe I'll get the Atari. It's not too expensive to collect for either, so it's not like I'm in a rush to get it either, right?
I mean, exactly. Like the 2600 right now isn't even that sought after.
Yeah, like the price. I
mean, that's the best time to get it, to be honest. But
it is, but it's like I don't need motivation.
I'm not even that motivated. I'm not gonna plug it in and play it. Like it's just gonna get dusty somewhere. So screw it. But moving on to the next thing. Okay, so you listed 2 games. You said,
oh yeah, that's right. I didn't even get to a third game.
Ratchet and Clank. What was the third one?
Okay, the third one. What else came out last year? Let's see. I'm looking over here. Lost Judgment. Have you heard of that one?
Lost Judgment, yeah, of course.
Yeah, from the same people that made the Yakuza games. Mm-hmm. That was a great game as well. Every time a Yakuza game comes out, I always gotta buy it right away. They're just fantastic games. And did Yakuza
fan?
Did Yakuza Like a Dragon come out last year? I don't even remember.
Yeah, it came out at like.
Was it the end of? No, I think it came out at the end of 2020. Actually.
Yeah.
2020. So it was like a launch title-ish for. It was like a launch title for the new consoles.
Yeah, it was around the same time as Dirt 5 and stuff.
Yeah. That was a really good game too. But if we're talking last year, it'd have to be Lost Judgment because I know that game came out last year.
All right,
but you weren't big on turn-based. You didn't like a Dragon that much.
I've never been big on turn-based because of like, I don't know. I just got really bored with Final Fantasy fast when I was a little kid. When I was a little kid, I just like was just so into like action now, and I didn't want to pick all the button. I don't want to pick an attack and then watch it get done. I want to do the attack. I want to be the Budokai guy shooting the blast and whatnot. Like that's as close to turn-based as I want. I want to be able to hit the buttons and then watch the biggest explosion I've ever seen happen.
That reminds me. Have you played the Budokai games on PS2?
Oh yeah, man!
Those are great games. You might, you do.
And of course, Goku's legs like flip up when he throws the bomb at the same time.
Yeah, me and my brothers we used to play Budokai back in the day all the time on the PS2. That was like one of the games we just played so much of, especially the first one. The first one a lot, and the third one was really good as well. Budokai 3. But I didn't play the 3D ones much. You know, the ones where you're flying around and everything. I think it was Budokai Tenkai or something. Budokai Tenkai.
Dude, that game's so expensive right now.
Yeah, like those.
But did you ever play like the original PlayStation?
I heard that was garbage.
A lot of people said it was garbage, but I loved it.
Really? Maybe one day. I don't know.
Out of it. But I had the Japanese copy of.
Really?
At the time I had the Japanese copy of. It was called Ultimate Fighter 22. Mm-hmm. Is what it was called, and then they changed it to like Ultimate Battle or something like that for America. But that game was It was very bad in graphics, of course. It was like very bit. Like all you
very,
see
like,
of Trunks
animations
is like
are
orange,
like weird.
orange from here, and then white person face down to here, and then like clothing similar, like to the color.
It wasn't a good looking game.
It wasn't a good looking game, but like flying around, but you can tell the different characters and whatnot, and you can and they always kind of like had like in the corner of the screen like who you were fighting and your health and everything, but like you'd control like 3 people at a time and you'd be fighting, and it was just kind of cool. It looked like a bunch of gnats, but I loved it, man. It was just like all this like crazy fighting, and it was just it was just so good. And the fact that I had to put a disc into there, load it up, and then it'd say, all right, open disc now to be able to
back in the day to
the
play
Japanese.
Imports, right?
Yeah, exactly. I had to have that little spring in the back to keep the disc spinning. it was definitely
the swap disc thing. Swapping the discs.
The swap disc. Yep. Yeah, man. Dude, it was
but modern gamers will never understand the struggle back then.
No. No, they won't, man. They won't understand the things that you went through.
Nowadays, everything is region free nowadays, even the Switches, right? That was like the first console.
Yeah, or you can, emulate and get it quick on PC. Hell, you can do it. I remember getting an emulator on my phone and playing Mario 64.
It just blew me away,
And that was like back in like 2012, 2013 when I was doing that. So I can only imagine what people are like jailbreaking Switches and and freaking, I mean, hell, the Steam Deck now. I mean, that's a walk-in emulator.
Jeez, right? Man, that thing's gonna be crazy. Like I was thinking, man, you can play PS2 games, you can play PS3 games, you could probably play, like, it's crazy. Like
you can play
the potential,
anything that you could, anything that you could find controls for, you can play on that thing.
That's crazy. Like,
so
just thinking
insane
about the potential of that thing. But the thing is, like, I'm old school too, right? It's like, I need to play on the original. I need to play on the original thing.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Like it, and I was actually talking to my buddy about that too. It's just like emulators are really cool.
Yeah.
Until that button doesn't seem like it's in the right place.
There's always gonna be compatibility issues no matter where you look, right? With something, maybe it's a controller, maybe it's this, maybe it's there's always something that's wrong, right?
When I was emulating NFL 2K. 5 on my computer.
I heard that's like the best one.
I mean, it's really dope. It is the best NFL game of all time, yes. But like, I was emulating it on my computer and I was playing it with like the newer rosters. It's 2K5 game, and I was playing it with the rosters that are out now, updated rosters and everything like that. It was all cool. The buttons were fine. Everything worked the same pretty much. But like that feeling of playing it on my original Xbox, going out of my way to make the stadium music from my, custom Xbox old school hits of Lamar 2004, best of rap, whatever. Like I had a long playlist of music. I missed being able to turn on or like start my game, and like the stadium music, it asks you like, what do you want to play whenever you call like a timeout, or whenever you score a touchdown, or whenever the game starts, what are you running out on the field listening to? So like I'd always want like I had like Rick Ross. Like as I was coming out saying hustling. But it was just like super cool to be able to do that, and I was like playing it on my PC, and I was just like, I just don't get that feeling. I don't have that customization there because this is an emulation, not an actual game. So like when I went to custom music, it was like,
I'm assuming you're emulating the PS2 version as well, right? Because the OG Xbox emulation is like not really a thing. Like, it's very bad. It's in a bad state, OG Xbox emulation. People never figured it out for some reason. I don't know what's so complicated about the architecture, maybe.
Then it must be the PlayStation 2 version. I'm kind of curious what it was. I actually deleted it for space on my computer, so I don't even have it anymore. And I bought an OG Xbox, loaded it up with music, and actually bought that game again, so it doesn't even matter. But I'm kind of curious because I know in the PlayStation 2 version of 2K5, it was just like pictures of what happened. Like let's say you throw a touchdown pass, and at halftime they had like a halftime show with Berman, and he would show like the plays that like the best plays of the half.
Yeah.
On PS2 it was pictures of just like the catch and like pictures of the catch and the run and stuff like that, just a quick picture. But on the Xbox version it was the whole play. So you would have him like talking throughout the play. Oh, he drops back right here and he hits him for a 60-yard gain, and it'd show him catch the ball and run in and everything. And then after the game, it had the post-game show, and you could watch different games that you didn't even play.
So this is only on the Xbox version.
This was on the Xbox version, not the PlayStation.
Yeah,
2.
see, the PS2 version is always a downgrade most of the time.
Well, I don't think it was powerful enough to do that. You know, I mean,
the OG Xbox is another league.
Xbox got into the game was because PlayStation 2 said they wanted to build the home computer to go to your TV, and Xbox was like, no, you don't.
They got this whole Hulk. My thing got disconnected. So we got to plug that back in real quick. All right, you hear me? Everything's good?
Yeah,
okay, good. Heard you so anyway, I think it's my headphones. It's not even the Blue Yeti, but anyway. So what was I gonna say again? Oh yeah, with the Xbox kind of just came in with this hulking beast, right? It was almost like twice as powerful as the PS2. It had a hard drive in. It was in another league, in my opinion, from the PS2. You know, it had a broadband network adapter built in the console. You know, the PS2 obviously didn't have that, right? It was just, you could tell it was just way ahead of its time, honestly.
You know, and I caught a lot of flack for it because everyone says, you know, the greatest console ever made or sold at least was the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Which, you know, that's the fact.
That's true, right?
But like my favorite console, like when I was asked what my favorite console of all time was, I said the OG Xbox.
It's honestly one of my favorite
because it slapped the way it came out with music intertwined with, you know, not having to buy a memory card. Very fast load times in comparison to the PlayStation 2. I remember playing Grand Theft Auto on the Xbox, and I was like, man, this feels fast.
It's way better. Yeah.
So, I mean, that was my take on it, and that's why I didn't end up with the PlayStation 3 and the PS4, because I was like, oh, Xbox 360.
Yeah, it's better.
You're smashing it out the park. Holy crap, what's next?
I mean, even with the 360.
The Xbox One, and I was like, why?
But even like the 360, like when the 360 first came out, it was in another league when the PS3 version came out, right? Like you could it had the market for like a good first half of like that generation,
just
right?
Price wise alone.
Yeah, price wise, no, it was easy to develop for. Multiplats were still better on the Xbox because it was just so hard to develop for the PS3 at the time. And not only that, it was like you said, the price and just the Xbox Live in general was just so much better than PSN. It just functioned better, it was just more reliable. It was just you could tell they had it all figured out, you know.
Yeah, they showed a lot of care into that, and they drove that like right up the right alley. Yeah, and then they took a hard turn. Yeah, for the Xbox
and then the Kinect came out,
just game wise. I mean, like the console itself did some really cool, innovative things, and that's what I really appreciated about the Xbox as a brand, is because they always brought something new to the console that you just couldn't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
As for like adding music to it, and then you know the 360 had the only thing that sucked about the 360 is it didn't have a DVD, or it did have a DVD drive, but not a Blu-ray drive compared to the PlayStation, which did have the Blu-ray in it. That was it had that weird high def or whatever drive that you could buy to plug into it. The
HD DVD, I think that's what it was called.
HD DVD. Yeah, that thing.
That thing was a disaster. It died before it even arrived.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the Atari.
That was probably like the worst thing about the 360 was the disk drive that it used, because like obviously the PS3 had the Blu-ray drive equipped with it, right? And it was just so much better than the HD DVD drive that the Xbox 360 was using, right? Because I think after that generation, they're all like, yep, you know, obviously we have to go with Blu-ray, right? Because, you know, I think Blu-ray is a Sony thing, I'm pretty sure, right? So it's kind of funny when you think about it, because now essentially, I think Sony's making a profit off of all the Xboxes sold because they're using Blu-ray nowadays. I'm pretty sure.
That's possible. I don't.
I'm not sure how that's working, because I'm pretty sure Blu-ray is a Sony thing.
But if you had throughout all the games that you played, do you have a favorite studio?
Favorite studio,
you know, like dev or publisher?
I do have a few that I really hold up. I know Ryo Gotoku Studios, the people that make Yakuza. Like, I'm always buying the latest games they're making. Obviously Atlas P Studio, I'm buying all their games. They're like people that I'm really close to. And what else? Because I know there's a lot of them that I really like too, but a lot of them are defunct nowadays. You know, because a lot of them, the older generations, that just don't even exist anymore. One developer that's like that's just iconic to me is probably Sega AM2. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're the people that made Daytona, Outrun 2, the game I just showed you. They made this game. They made Virtua Cop. They're like probably like, you know, definitely like the developer I hold the highest pedestal on. You know, it's just Sega AM2. They're like the gods to me, you know, just from what they've made. Space Harrier, just a lot of classic Sega games, right? And you know, it's a lot of the like I said, Daytona. Just amazing studio.
Dude, Daytona was dope.
Yeah, and Daytona USA 2 is like one of my favorite racing games of all time, but it never got a console port. It's still arcade exclusive even today. So nowadays you gotta emulate it, you know. And sometimes, you know, it's okay, but it's like I really want a home port, you know. But I don't know if we're ever gonna get that. It's freaking Sega, man. You know, they could really be, you know, just I don't know.
They're just so spread out.
You know, it's like
all right,
I'm gonna say AM2. AM2 is definitely them.
Okay. But moving to the next one, what's the next game that you're most excited for that's going to be coming out? That's like announced.
Let's see, what is there? Let's see, what am I looking forward to nowadays? I mean, I know Spider-Man 2 is definitely one. Like Spider-Man 2 on the PS5. Like, I cannot wait till that game comes out, but that's not even gonna come out till like next year. So it's like anything short term. I know actually there's supposed to be a House of the Dead remake. I'm curious how that's gonna turn out. I gotta bring that up. You know, I don't know if you're even aware of a House of the Dead remake was supposed to happen. I don't know. Are you aware? Of that?
No, I wasn't.
No, it's not really. Because the thing is, I'm kind of like skeptical about it because it's not actually developed and published by Sega, right? They've licensed it out to a third party and they're developing it. So it's like they're taking a lot of feedback from fans, but at the same time, it's like, you know, it's not in-house Sega developed, right? So it's like I'm kind of like,
yeah. You're just.
And the thing about me is like, I don't really think House of Dead even really needs a remake. The game plays just fine. It looks fine. So it's like, you know, and I could play it nowadays and just completely enjoy it. You know, there's nothing. I don't have to say, oh man, this game really needs a remake. It doesn't, right? The game plays perfectly fine, plays fine.
Well, that actually goes. That's funny because that goes into the next question I'm going to ask, but you haven't finished answering this one yet.
Sorry. Oh, you mean what else is there? Like I said Spider-Man 2. What else?
No, I'm saying like this year.
Oh, this year, yeah. Yeah, like I said, House of the Dead, but like I said, I'm kind of like I'm looking forward to it, but I'm like on the edge of my seat about it. And what else is coming out next year? This year.
Yeah, 2022.
2022. Yeah, man, we're in 20. I was gonna say 2021. I was gonna say we're in 2022. What is coming up this year? I know there's something I'm looking forward to, but it's not hitting me right now. What was Nintendo releasing this year? I gotta think. Zelda I know Breath of the Wild 2. It's Breath of the Wild 2 is supposed to, I think, come out this year, but it's not like it's not completely locked in, right? Like they're still kind of like, oh yeah, it's 2022. No,
yeah, it's kind of like God of War and A Plague's Tale and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
all says 2022.
Like, actually, Starfield. Starfield. I'm looking forward to that. That's coming up this year. Hopefully, it actually does come up, right? But,
do you have a Series S or X, or do you?
I do have a Series X. I got Series X. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
man, you got everything over there, bro.
Yeah, man. I got really bad FOMO. You know, it's really bad.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like if something comes out, I just gotta buy it. You know, it's like.
I know. Watch out. Give me it.
What's that? Something comes out.
But as I said just a moment ago, this is interesting because my next question, because you were talking about House of the Dead not needing to be remade.
Yeah.
What 2 games would you like to see remade? I want you to choose 2 and bring them to 20. And I'm actually going to make this question difficult on you specifically. I'm going to be an asshole to you specifically because you have such a collection, and I can kind of force you into kind of a bubble and say you have to pick from this area. Most time I just say don't pick anything from the Xbox One or PS4 generation. But for you specifically, I'm going to tell you that you can only pick 2 games. One has to be 90s Sega. Any generation throughout the 90s, they had so many of them. There's a lot to pick.
Yeah, man, you could go. Oh, I already got one. I already got one in my mind.
And then, and then the second one I want you to pick is going to be Nintendo between Super and 64.
Okay, I think I could figure something out. For Sega, 90 Sega, I already got something that just popped in my mind right when you said that. The first thing that I really want to see remade, you know, brought to a new light would probably be Burning Rangers for the Sega Saturn. I don't know if you ever heard of that one.
No, I've heard of it, but
Burning Rangers.
I've never got to play it.
It's a fun game, but it's got some jank to it.
Sega Saturn's one of those things that I looked up a ton of games, and because I just recently bought this one. I used to have a Sega Saturn back in the day, but I never had an AV cord for it, and I never had a power cord for it. And during the times that I had that console, because I was younger then, it wasn't like something I could go to the store and easily find, and they didn't have so much like third-party stuff made to be able to work with these things. So like you go to the stores now, you can find third-party, hell, you can find HDMIs for your Dreamcast, for your.
I wouldn't recommend using those, to be honest. But like with the Dreamcast,
some of them have pretty bad. Some of them have pretty bad lag and input lag and stuff like that. Some of them are spot on though. It just kind of depends on which console or which brand that you're purchasing it from. But it's definitely. But what I'm trying to say is, I didn't have the opportunity just to go to the gaming store and just be like, hey man, let me get that Sega Saturn AV cord. So mine literally, so I had a Sega Saturn that just sat in my mom's closet for like 10 years, and I never got to even buy any games for it or anything.
Man, you missed out,
I'm actually wondering if it's still. I'm actually literally wondering if it's still there, because she doesn't do anything with that room.
Honestly. Unless your mom plays on Sega Saturn, I don't blame her.
I just go over there and she
pulls out of the closet. She's got like all the good games, Panzer Dragoon Saga. We're getting just like, whoa, you got this.
She just has some of my old consoles just hanging out back there that I didn't know about. Yeah. Oh man, that would be so good. We bond so much more. I mean, we already bond really well, but if I walked in on my mom gaming, that'd bring up a whole nother
side of it.
Yeah. Wow, that'd be powerful. All right, and now the Nintendo between the Super and 64.
64. I know there is some 64 games that could get remade. I think most Super Nintendo games are pretty good for me personally. Like, you know, I feel like just the 2D aspect of, I feel like all those games are just perfectly fine the way they are personally. Yeah. So I don't think any of those games really need to be remade. Like I can't really think of one.
Looked pretty good in that game, yeah.
Right? I'm thinking something more on the N64 has to really be remade. And I gotta think about this.
There are several games that could be remade.
On 64, like 64, that's like Jank City, right? The 64, just how many games could look whoa. Because I know a lot of them did get Superman. No, that game deserves to be lost to time. Yeah, that game could stay where it's at.
You're like, don't touch that.
Yeah, don't touch it. Because I know a lot of the good 64 games did get remade, like Star Fox 64. That got a 3DS remake, and that's actually pretty good, that one. And obviously Ocarina of Time got remade. Majora's Mask got remade.
You know, I'm going to extend this question a little bit, and I'm going to extend it from the 64 to the GameCube.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of curious.
I don't know. I'm pretty satisfied.
One game I would like to see remade from the GameCube is Eternal Darkness.
Okay, yeah, that's a good. I don't know. Does that game really need a remake? You think?
Well, just like
I actually bought that game recently, but I didn't actually get around playing it yet.
Dude, it's such a great game. I'd just like to see it in like real form.
Yeah.
I think that would just be a little bit more like, because it kind of gives you very Resident Evil-y feelings, but with like magic and stuff like that. So like, it's just crazy. Because
I know I think it's set between different like time zones, right? Like there's like Rome, and it's like
Rome and her time, and like you're like going back and forth in between.
Yeah. I still need to play that one day. I just gotta find the right mood, feeling spooky. Yeah, if like when you're playing a horror game, you gotta have that right mood, right?
Right.
Turn it on. So I'm just waiting for that time, and it's gonna pop it in and just give it a spin, But I think Eternal Darkness, wasn't there like a spiritual successor that was on Kickstarter, then it failed or something? I feel like there was like something that
deep into it.
I'm pretty sure there was like the original developers were making a spiritual successor. They got a whole trailer and everything for it, but like they just didn't reach the Kickstarter. Apparently, it was like some stupid amount that they wanted for it, but it just never reached them. It got canceled, from what I heard.
That game is expensive to rebuy right now. I'll tell you that much.
And I spent $90. So I got a decent copy, so I'm satisfied with what I got.
That's good, because the copy I seen didn't have the book, and it was all scratched up for like $100.
Jeez, that's wrong.
And that was just not gonna happen.
Yeah, GameCube stuff is just always crazy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, even NBA Street Volume 2 is like $50.
I just recently dropped $200 on Fire Emblem.
My goodness!
I was like,
you went for it.
I went for it. I got the whole case around it, everything to try to protect it. Yeah, but I'm satisfied with it. It's $200. I see it for $300. I'm like, $100 less, sure, why not?
All right, so which game you picking then?
Oh, that's right. I gotta pick a game. All right, I gotta try to pick something from the N64, and maybe I gotta just take a look real quick. I really gotta think this one out. I feel like Donkey Kong 64 could actually do a do-over. Donkey Kong 64.
Not need the red cartridge for the front.
Not just that. Not just that aspect. Like that game, I feel like has a lot of potential, but it's just the whole like. I feel like they could trim the fat of it, remake it, and just maybe just because I know like a lot of people they feel like it's too much when it comes to the collecting aspect of it, right? Like I feel like if you could just just rebuild that game and just make it more, just make it so you're not collecting everything. You don't have to switch all the time. Like I feel like if you actually properly, cut all the fat off of it, refine it a little bit, I feel like it'd actually be a really good game. Because I just know, like, it is a good game, right? But a lot of people just have those annoyances where it's like, oh, I wish this wasn't here. I wish that wasn't there. This is annoying. That's annoying. They could I feel like they could really make that a really good game if they actually, cut all the fat and everything. Because I feel like that game specifically is the reason why we don't really get 3D Donkey Kong games anymore. Because they're just so scarred of like, of how people treated that game, I don't know. I feel like it could use a do-over, personally.
That's dope. That'd be really interesting to see too. That'd make headlines. That's for sure.
Right.
All right. So
look, we haven't even got a 3D Donkey Kong game in so long, right? It's always 2D Donkey Kong, right? Like Donkey Kong Country Returns, Tropical Freeze, even Jungle Beat on the GameCube. That was in 2D, right? We haven't seen 3D Donkey Kong in ages, ever since Donkey Kong 64.
Well, here's this might kind of lead to the next question. What kind of frustrates you about gaming as a whole? As honestly, okay, I got something. Yeah, I got something. The thing that really pisses me off is just the preservation aspect of it. It's like I have a feeling a lot of these games are just getting lost to time. Especially like with PSN recently, they want to shut down the servers, right? It's like there's no official way to really buy those games anymore, right? Like especially House of the Dead 4, which let's go back to House of the Dead again. House of the Dead 4.
House of Dead 4 is only on PS3 and it's only available to download on PSN. So if Sony gets rid of those servers, there's no official legal way to buy House of Dead 4 at home. It's like, that's just crazy to me, you know? It's like, how am I supposed to recommend that game to someone? Be like, oh yeah, and then you gotta get a PS3, and then you gotta mod it, and then you gotta get these files online. Hopefully you don't get a virus on your PC or something. You know, it makes all these hoops you gotta jump over just to play a freaking game. You know, meanwhile with like movies, anything that has a screen, you could watch a movie easily, right? All you need is like a DVD, or you need like, you just go online, go on Netflix. Like, it's just so easy with
YouTube.
Movies, but with games, you need the hardware, you need this, you need that, you need this controller. It's just like a lot of these games just get lost to time, right? And it just frustrates me. That's why I buy all this stuff, because I just want to have, like, I own it, right? And I want to be able to preserve it. That's like the main reason why I even got into this in the first place, really, right?
Yeah, I've had friends tell me I'm wasting money on this and spending too much money for these games, and I could just emulate it, and I understand you want to hold the actual controller, but you're spending too much. I'm like, dude, like, content, if you can't tell from like the way that Microsoft is spending money and the way PlayStation's been buying all these developers and stuff like that lately, like, content is king right now. And like, the more content that I can at least have a hold of, the more that I feel like I'm in control of what I want to do, instead of just dealing with whatever a Game Pass gives me or a Spartacus gives me. I mean, I'm cool with those services. I love those services because I'm
just subscribed to Game Pass, right?
You know, I want to keep playing games I'd never even think of playing. Absolutely, I'm down with that. But what I'm also down with as well is being able to know that I don't need to log in online to be able to play this game. I just put it into the the console and turn it on. It doesn't ask me when my last update was. It doesn't
when
tell
your birthday is.
When's your birthday, or you know, what network are you on, or you know, this controller needs an update, or like it doesn't need any of that. It just turns on and plays. And you know, I feel like a lot of people are gonna wish they had this stuff in the future. And
100%.
I'm more than happy to have it now. So let's go. But that's an awesome answer, dude. Totally dope.
Yeah, right? Because especially with with PlayStation, right? Like, they don't even care about PS3 or PS2 or PS1 anymore. They just pretend it doesn't even exist, right? Yeah. That's why the fat PS3 is my favorite console, because like, it has the PS1, PS2 support all in one system, right? And it's like, that's like a console that respects its legacy, you know?
Yeah, it might not have been like the most like functioning long term and reliable, but that's like the big reason I was in such a big love for Xbox original and the Xbox 360 is like, you tried. And that's what really hit me so hard with Sega in the first place, is because they threw out all this stuff and some of it was fluff,
some of it stuck, some of it didn't stick,
you know, but like, that's the energy I want to see, is like, you just want to try. You just want to try. And I mean, just like Xbox, they tried with the Kinect. Big fail. Moving on.
Well, when the Kinect first came out, it was a success. The second Kinect failed bad.
Yeah, the Kinect for the 360 was a success. It actually made them more money. The Kinect, the way they advertised it for the Xbox One, I felt like it could have been really good, but since they focused so much,
they pretty much forced everyone down everyone's throat.
Yeah. They forced a lot of television on people's throat, and they forced the actual piece to be in the bundle of the console itself, and then saying that it's gonna cost more because of that. It's gonna cost more because of that.
Oh, and by the way, it's less powerful than the PS4 as well. You know?
Yeah, and it's less powerful than the competitor. You're just like, man, like
they really shot themselves in the foot.
And then the Wii came out, and you're just like you just weren't sure, like, if the Xbox could even like handle the Wii.
Yeah, honestly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's not even talk about PlayStation. We're talking about the Wii. Yeah. So I mean, it was just or was it Wii U? I don't remember.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of with the Wii U that came out, it had the gamepad, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people actually said that Nintendo probably could have turned the Wii U around if they actually made a version of the Wii U that dropped the gamepad and cut the cost by $100. People think the Wii U probably could have came back if they did that, but you know, it's Nintendo, they're too stubborn, right? They didn't want to do something like that. So of course the gamepad stayed, and we all know how the Wii U turned out, right? It was a failure, obviously, but.
Well, see, like people buy one, like when you get these multi packs of stuff, there's usually that one thing that you really bought it for.
Yeah.
You know, and when it comes to consoles that are especially like over $200-$300,
yeah,
you don't want to buy something and then be forced to have
just a fluff.
I mean, yeah, you don't want to be forced to have like I mean, how would I feel buying an Xbox Series X and paying $600 because it came with an accessibility controller?
Yeah.
I don't want an accessibility controller.
I have two hands.
Yeah, I got my hands and everything works just fine.
Yeah.
That would be a fantastic deal for somebody that needs that.
But and maybe like a special bundle, right?
Yeah. That's dope. Yeah, that makes sense. But we're coming down to our last few questions. This is kind of a turnaround back to the positive. What would be like a dream come true for you in game?
A dream come true, man. That would probably just be. It's just probably the same thing. Just Sony, maybe. Like honestly, if Sony released the PS5 and it was fully backwards compatible, that honestly, that
or just like
all of it. Like I want to put the disc in and it just works. Like I just want a console that just respects its legacy. You know, it respects that. Yeah, the PS1. Yeah, the PS2. You know, it respects that it had all those consoles before it.
That is a nice thing about the Xbox right now is that
that Series X is really. It's not perfect,
but it's at least saying, like we got these at least, and it's because of licensing, and you can totally understand that a lot of these licensing things are a big deal. Like you just got done saying about the Ferrari game. So yeah, I mean, just the effort. I want to see some effort because I mean, even about the smart delivery with bringing over your save data, like PlayStation, you did this in previous consoles. You had the PlayStation 1 memory card you could take out and put into your PlayStation 2.
Yeah, everything just works flawlessly, you know.
Yeah, the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation and the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 were like the epitome of the next step.
The thing that really bothers me is like the PS2 especially, like why do you want to cut that library off? Like that's like an iconic library of games. It's one of the biggest libraries in console history, right? And just to be like, oh no, we don't need that, right? It's like, why don't you go out your way to include that? You know? I don't know. I feel like it could be done, right?
I feel like they might have messed themselves up by just making that different type of disc then. Because you know how the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 3 could read the same, but the PlayStation 2 was just like the stepchild. That like they didn't want to deal with, but they just kind of got to deal with it. And even though it was and it's crazy that it's the stepchild of disc because it's the best console of all time statistically. So it's kind of weird that you would want to put that in the box in the corner. Why would you want to put the greatest IPs of all time?
That's their best. Yeah, that's really Sony's best achievement of all time, and they just kind of just, oh yeah, we need that, right? It's like respected, you know. It's like that's almost what made you who you are nowadays, you know. And you're just gonna kind of just leave it in the past and be like, oh yeah, we don't, just leave that to the old consoles, you know, just let it die off. It's like, why are you gonna let that die off?
Yeah, I understand you have a lot of success since then, but like,
you got to respect what made that success in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. I want to know the history. I mean, when I watch the NFL, they're always talking about the history. They always bringing back old school clips of stuff like that. And, you know, there's constant content that I can buy, you know, a DVD of the 85 Bears or something like that and throw it into my Xbox right now. Why can't you buy like an old PlayStation 2 game and throw it into your
It makes no sense to me.
You know what I'm saying? Like that would be really cool. Hard, more expensive probably, but like just the opportunity. Hey, there's a special PS5 edition that's going to be $650, but it'll play all the backwards compatibility.
That'd be very nice.
Do it.
Like imagine a PS5, they have the whole cell CPU in there to do the PS3 games. That'd be amazing.
Oh my goodness. So what I've heard is going back to play PS3 games would be really hard.
Yeah, because like I said, the cell architecture, right, is just really hard to emulate, right? That's what I'm saying. If they included that actual chip on the board, that could probably help it out a lot, right? But I'm assuming that'd be expensive, right? Having to produce the CPU, right? I mean, I know this cell alone costs them millions of dollars just to make, right? But I don't know how expensive it'd be nowadays.
I'm just saying, if Xbox can make a Gucci or whatever, Louis Vuitton or whatever that freaking Xbox was that was 10 grand, Sony, you can do something.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be really nice. It just really frustrates me, honestly.
Yeah, like start out saying we're only making 500 of them, so then they hurry up and get by, and then a bunch of other people, we're making 500 more, I guess. All of a sudden, that'd be pretty cool.
But I mean, you really can't tell me that the PS5 can't emulate the PS1 or the PS2 at least, you know, like that could be done, you know.
Fast. But anyways, what do you enjoy to do outside of gaming? I mean, we see you stack, we see what you like to do for the most part. But what do you like to do other than that?
Let's see. What do I like to do? I like watching movies. I recently watched the new Spider-Man movie, No Way Home. Did you watch that? That's a good.
I haven't seen it. No, I have not got to see that movie yet.
You got
I haven't seen the last
so
couple of Spider-Mans. I've been kind of like just not watching movies. I've been in the TV shows.
It's been hard to watch movies because of obviously the pandemic, right?
Right.
So that's obviously, that's obviously a thing that's happening, right? So you can't really go out obviously and watch movies. Like honestly, Spider-Man No Way Home, that was like the first movie I've watched since like Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie back in like February 2020. Wow. Because it's like, they could closing down, it's the opening. Now the movies are closed again. At least in Canada they are, because I'm not sure how it is for you right now.
I don't think they're quite closed yet here.
Yeah, in Canada we always open and close. It's really bad here because I guess they're just, and I know in the States they're a lot more laid back about it. I feel, I'm not sure if I'm getting that right.
Sometimes in some states, you should say some states.
Yeah.
Some states are just not playing right now, and other states are like, "Come on out, let's kick it."
I have imagined. I know in the United States it's a lot different how each state pretty much operates, differently than the other. But at least in Canada, they're just shutting down, reopening, shutting down.
So you like just going out, watching movies and stuff?
Yeah, hanging out with friends,
kicking it. But
I tried working out, but I haven't done that. Then I stopped. I mean, I'm not. I have a good metabolism, so I'm good.
But what's something that's fun that maybe nobody really knows about you?
That nobody knows about me? I don't know. I'm pretty. I kind of just let everything out. I don't really hide anything. Nobody knows about.
Or maybe I should reword. What's something that like somebody wouldn't expect when they see you?
I don't know. Maybe a lot of people don't expect that I'm as big as a gamer as I am. Maybe I'd assume. Like maybe they just assume I'm just a regular guy. Sometimes I don't make it as obvious. I'll wear a regular shirt. I'll just kind of I look like I'm an average looking guy. Like I don't have the glasses and everything. I don't really look like that stereotypical, I don't know, geek, I guess. So I guess it's just out of character. I don't have no idea.
So this is hilarious. I'm gonna kind of dwindle that down. What you're trying to say is a lot of people wouldn't look at me and think, man, he's a super
guy's got a lot of video
geek.
games. Yeah, exactly. They don't know I'm such a nerd. It's
they would say, man. If I knew him better, man, I think that dude's a freaking geek.
Yeah, what a freaking loser that guy is.
He's a freaking loser. He's lame. He plays. He has no life. Oh my god.
Yeah, for example, I'll talk to the guy. It's like normal, I'm just talking, right? And then they wouldn't even know unless I mentioned it, right? Like, oh yeah, I got all these video games, I like playing them, and it's like it's something I have to bring up most of the time, right? So, yeah.
All right, and now. I'm pretty sure you could come up with something off the top of your head fairly quick, but I want you to try to describe gaming in 3 words. In just 3 words.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. It's fun, expensive, and slightly frustrating, I guess.
So fun, expensive, and frustrating.
Yeah,
it just went all downhill after.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really worth it, but it's like, yeah, it's like, it's fun once you're actually playing the game, but like just the process of actually getting the game started. It's like, okay, I blew like almost $1,000 just to get this game running, Mm. It's like I spent $600 on the console, $90 on the game. And it's frustrating because I'm going back to these other games and it's like they're so expensive, It's like,
and then you got,
it's like I should have bought this before, It's like
all these different peripherals, and
then,
it's like, I need needs a different peripheral.
Yeah. And then one time I bought a Dreamcast light gun, right? And I bought the Japanese, and I was like, oh, I'll probably work on my Dreamcast, right? I started up, and apparently the actual light gun is region locked. Like you had to have the Japanese version of the game. I'm like, oh my God, I blew $40 for something I can't even use. It was frustrating. So I had to buy another peripheral. It was a Dreamcast blaster, right? It was for it was like the North American version, but like Sega never released an official light gun in North America, right? Because I think around the time the Columbine shooting happened, and because of that, they region locked the gun, right? So I wish I knew that. That's the thing about me. Sometimes I don't do as much research as I should before I blow like $50. Like I remember one time I blew $120 on a fat PS3, and I didn't know about all the PS3 models back then. So I blew $120 on a PS3. That's like, okay, I already have a PS3 Slim, but now I just have another PS3 that's just a normal PS3 because it's not the backwards compatibility. Because only like 3 specific revisions of the fat PS3 have the backwards compatibility. I didn't know that at the time. So I was like, oh yeah, it's a fat PS3. It'll have PS2 backwards compatibility. But obviously I didn't do any research, right? But now I did the research. Now I know the models and, what which is which now. And they're easy to tell apart. But I just wish I did that research beforehand. But it's just there's a lot of little things about gaming where it's like, you got to buy this specific version, this, that. And you always got to tell things apart. It could get a little frustrating, but it's like it's worth it at the end. That's why it's fun.
All right, man. Well, thanks for showing up. We had a lot to talk about today.
How long did this go on for?
Just this video right here was long. I'm gonna have to just say that because the way I edit it and everything, it's just not gonna make sense when I go to actually post it. But let's just say we've been chatting for some time about a lot of different things. But I appreciate everybody that came and watched it. If you're watching the show right now, make sure you like and subscribe. That would definitely help out. I'll have all of his stuff in the description as well, so you can find him on Twitter and his YouTube channel and whatnot. Watch the guy grow. Watch the guy play all these different crazy games. Maybe he'll throw some stuff on screen that's old school.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Maybe
I just bought an Elgato recently.
There you go.
I did buy an Elgato recently. Look, it's still in the box. I'm gonna pull one thing out last. The last thing I'm gonna pull out. See, it's still in the box. So I'm getting ready. I'm gonna go for it, man.
Man, he's going. Yeah, man. We'll remember where you learned a little bit.
This is the right now. This is the origin story.
This is the origin story of Wow. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Peace.
All right. See you, man.
Do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!